Just days from Ohio's primary, a hearing was held this afternoon here in Columbus, and all 9 plaintiffs are just 17 years old. Their attorney is asking a judge to issue an injunction against Ohio's Secretary of State and to block his rule that bars them from casting a vote for president in next week's primary. NBC4's Dwayne Pullman was at that hearing, and he's here now with details for us.
Colleen, this was historic because as far as anyone knows, no one has ever legally challenged whether 17-year-olds who turn 18 on or before the general election can or can't vote in the primary for a presidential candidate. Now, just hours ago in a Franklin County courtroom, the arguments were heard here on behalf of those teenagers who, by the way, couldn't be there because they were still in school.
You're denying somebody their right to vote.
Rachel Blumkatz represents the 9 17-year-olds challenging Ohio Secretary of State Jon Husted and his rule barring them and others who turn 18 on or before the general election from casting a vote for president in Ohio's primary.
There is no ambiguity in the relevant statutes as to whether these students, these 17-year-olds, should be able to vote in the presidential primary.
Attorneys representing the Secretary of State argue 17-year-olds are barred from casting ballots for president because their vote would directly elect delegates, which they claim is forbidden by Ohio's Constitution.
I'm not sure there's ever been a case in the state that suggests that someone under 18 could vote.
But Franklin County Common Pleas Court Judge Richard Fry vigorously questioned that assumption, pointing to laws that he says are not clear and rules that he says were not made clear.
Suddenly, Secretary Husted promulgates this thing last fall. I mean, this is an issue that the legislature missed. Everybody, elected official.
After the hearing, the attorney reiterated what her 17-year-old clients are fighting for.
They want to exercise the right guaranteed by them by the Ohio legislature to vote in this primary.
Now, at the end of all the arguments, Judge Fry said he'll weigh the case and decide whether to issue that injunction, which would allow the 17-year-olds to vote in the primary for president. Of course, we're monitoring this one very closely. We'll let you know as soon as that decision is handed down.